Today we are going to talk about interface. So before heading to the actual example, so let's discuss about what is interface. So interface is a very powerful concept in the object-oriented programming principle, which has the method which doesn't have any body. Okay, and it gives you the powerful abstraction concepts, the pure abstraction concepts. So why I am saying this is we can comparison between the class interface and the abstract class. Okay, the class, if you take the normal class, the class is consist of non-abstract methods, which means that we don't use the abstract keyword. The normal method will be there in the normal class. Okay, the abstract class we defined with the keyword abstract, and which has the abstract method and non-abstract methods also. Okay, so that is the partial abstraction. Okay, so if you look at the interface gives you the full abstraction, which means that we have only the method definition. We don't have any body defined it in the interface. Okay. So wherever we are deriving it, there only we get implement that method. Okay. Now let's jump into the actual example. Okay. You see, I have defined the drawable is an interface. I have a method draw, which doesn't give you anything back as a return value. It's a void. Okay. So in the rectangle class, I'm inheriting this drawable interface. I can implement it, this draw now, okay? But if you look at the interface block, we don't have any body. But in the class, wherever we are inheriting that interface, we have a implementation, okay? So likewise, I have a one more class, circle. I'm inheriting the drawable here. I can implement it, this draw method, okay? So how can I call these methods and how can I instantiate this class? So in the main method, I can use this drawable interface and I am initializing with one object and I am creating the class rectangle and assign to this interface object. Okay. So when I am calling this object.draw, this rectangle draw will be called and where whatever we are statements we written here, it will be get executed. Likewise, I'm creating the class circle and I'm assigning to this interface object instance and using that interface object instance draw, this circle draw method will be get invoked. Okay, so this is the runtime we can determine like which class method will be get executed or invoked. Okay, so this is how the powerful interface concept still works. Okay, so let's look at another example. See, I have a interface, iStudent, which has the method put data. Okay, so which doesn't have any method body. So wherever we are class using, I'm inheriting that interface and I can implement that method definition. You see, so here I am implementing it. Why to put data? Okay, so inside of the block, just I am writing like printing record number one, name, marks of the student. Okay, so let's see how it get invoked. So I'm creating the class, the student one, using the new keyword. I'm creating the class, okay, and I'm passing these three parameters: student record number one, student name, student mark. Okay, I'm passing to this constructor, class constructor, and I'm setting these three values to the variables. Record number one and name will be John, marks will be 78.5. Okay, and whenever like I'm invoking that object dot put data, it will call this code of block and those record number, name and mark will be get printed. So likewise, I'm creating two more classes as well. And when I'm invoking this will be these data will be get printed. Likewise, these three record will be printed for class 3. Okay. So let's look at the another example. I have a interface 1. I have a one method 1 void add, okay, which has two parameters, number one and number two. So in this implementation class, I am inheriting this interface one. Now I can implement this add method. You see, I am implementing here, and I can define one more method also. So this one is belongs to this class, but this one should be implemented here. Okay, but you are you are implementing this subtraction. It doesn't matter whether you want to put this code block of code here or you want to remove it. It doesn't matter. It will not give you any compilation error, but this method should be implemented because we are inheriting this interface to this implementation class. Then this implementation should be take place. Okay, how we can invoke? See, using this interface, I'm initializing one object for this interface, and I'm creating the class and assign to this interface object. When I'm using this interface object dot add, this block of code will be get called, and 10 and 20 will be comes here as a parameters. Then I can add these two values like 10 plus 20, 30. So 30 will be get print out. Okay. So I'm not calling the subtract. So subtract method will not get invoked. Okay. So let's look at the another example. I have an interface one which has the method add, and the another interface two. I'm inheriting this interface one. I'm creating one more subtract method. Okay. Now in the class one, I'm using this interface one, which means that I can implement only this add. Okay. Only this add method implementation will be take place. I have one more class 2, which has the interface 2. Okay, so I can implement add and subtract as well. How? This interface 2 has to add and subtract since we already inherited, which means that we can use add and subtract also. Okay, so these two block of code we can implement. So how can we invoke it? So I'm creating the class using the new keyword. I'm creating the class and assign to this instance. Using this instance dot add, this block of code will be get executed. Okay, it will pass the 10 and 20 here, and 10 and 20 will be get added as a 30. Okay, now I'm creating the another class 2. I'm initializing this object 2, so I can invoke these two methods also, add and subtract. I can add, I mean, pass the parameter 10, 20, subtract 120. Then this block of code will becomes, it will be easier executed. So in our case, 10, 20, it will be 30, and subtract 120, it will comes here, and final result will be 80. Okay. So this is how the multiple interfaces and multiple classes are involved using this interface powerful concept. Okay. So if you like my video, please subscribe, and please look at my playlist of C++, C Sharp programming language videos. Please stay tuned for more upcoming videos. Thank you.